What's that, Luna? Oh, you want to start a podcast? Okay, so what's it going to be about? History of the Byzantine Empire and how it relates to the Holy Roman Church through its culture, religious practices, and societal norms? Wow, that's intense. So, how are you going to distribute your podcast to the world? Anchor.fm? Good call, Loons. You know that Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. That way you can spend more time chasing your brother Sherman and soaking up some sunbeams. I know Sherman can be a jerk, but he's just a cat, remember? And the other thing, it has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Anchor.fm is like one-stop podcast creation. Plus, it's free. I mean, as a podcast spokesdog, you have no idea why things hold monetary meaning, but just know free is a good thing. Yes, so everyone should download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, there's no need for that language. I think our enthusiasm is enough to encourage people to try it out. Seriously, Byzantine history, not like a dog treat or most doggy accessible park review? Okay, I mean fine, but if you have more listeners than us, no busy bones for like a week. Oh, I mean a day. Ugh, I can't stay mad at you. Hi, I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast.
Today we have a Passion Flicks triple feature.
Triple feature? What?
What?
I figured we clear out the remainder of the Christmas shorts on Passion Flicks. Because we got some big things coming on down the pipe.
That's what she said. Sorry, but you said big things and down the pipe. What did you want from me?
I wanted that.
Thank you.
Exactly that.
You could not have been expecting anything other than that.
Nope. And guess what? I was here for it. I was here for it.
Here for it. Mm-hmm.
Here for it. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Ray.
Yes, Veronica.
What are we doing today?
We're talking about El Apostolo Fixo. Our buddy Tosca. Our Tosca's company. So I have a lot of things to say, and so I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to say them all, because I want to talk about the director, because the director directed all three of these.
Cool.
And a lot of the Christmas shorts. A lot of the shorts in general, but so the way I'm going to, I really, there's no rhyme or reason that I'm going to do the reviews. But they're all Christmas. Two are written by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. And then the other one was written by, and I wrote it, and I can't remember it right this minute. But I will look it up, and by the time I get to it, I will tell you what it is.
I see it.
Oh, there it is. You see it. Yeah, it's a Holiday Lift by Corrine Michaels. So what I'm going to start with first is going to be the Holiday Lift. So Holiday Lift by Corrine Michaels. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because we usually read the summary, but because I don't have a summary, because it's a short story, I have to just kind of just explain it, explain the premise of it.
I have faith in you.
I think I can do it. I'm going to look and see. You have
2 master's degrees, so I feel like you'll be able to.
I can suss it out. Uh-huh.
Write a summary real quick in your mind.
Yep. Actually,
smart lady.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the one from Passion Flicks.
There you go.
There you go. Although I have to say with the Holiday Lift, so this was 11-minute movie. And it was made in 2020, and the director is Louise Alston on this one. The book, however, is not so much a short story. It's a novella, which I mean, yes, it is a short story, but having read the other two, and a lot of the other ones in the series, those are like short stories. This one is, I mean, it's 100 pages, so it's a little longer side. And the remainder of the story, so the movie only covers like the first couple of chapters of the novella, and then there's like a whole life after that happens after the elevator doors close. So literally. So
I didn't know if this was going to be an elevator or a ski lift.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a lot of elevator themed Christmas movies.
We had one already about the guy who runs the lingerie store.
Yes, which is one of my favorites. So, a holiday lift. All Holly wants for Christmas is to pretend the holidays do not exist. Another year with no one to kiss under the mistletoe. Of course, it doesn't help that after her epic breakup, Holly hopped into the sack with the one man she should have avoided, her arch rival Dean Pritchard. Despite the fact that he didn't bother calling after their night together, she can't get him out of her head. When a snowstorm traps the two of them together in an elevator, shocker, Holly can't avoid her work crush any longer. Will Dean be the lift she's needed for the holidays, or will Santa skip Holly yet again? I mean, y'all can guess what's going to happen.
I hope so. Jesus. Otherwise, this is the worst fucking romance movie ever.
Santa opened that sack.
Holla. Santa brought a sack, y'all.
He brought a sack, opened it. I don't know, gave you
There's gifts inside? I don't know.
There's gifts inside. I was trying to bring it out. I was like, no, it's just not going to work. No innuendo was coming to my brain. So, in trying to remember the book, because I had read the book a while back, and comparing the two, it's very, from what I can remember, it's very close. This one. So... a lot of it comes down to the directing. I don't from what I remember of the book, and because I finished it a couple of weeks ago, and it's lovely. It's cute. It's nothing like innocuous or anything like that. But I'm seeing a trend with some of these that have, and it's the director. And unfortunately, I think the director's not telling some of the actors and actresses to make different choices. And so it kind of, some things don't work. The girl who plays Holly is lovely. Her name is Carla Mosley. She's beautiful. She overacts so much with her face. Her face is so excited all the time. And I'm like, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. There was zero chemistry between the two of them. Yeah, I hate to say it. Part of it was he had the ugliest shirt on, and it was really bothering me. It was a really weird
like
green
detracted.
color. Yeah, like he's a decent looking guy, but this shirt was just it's like that hair in that one the hairstyle in that.
Oh yeah,
that
you told me about that.
Yeah. Where it was like, just somebody fix her hair. This seemed like, is there any other shirts you could get this guy?
Which one was that? Hang on. That was the naughty list, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, naughty list with that piece of hair that was just hanging in her face the whole time. Mm-hmm. So that's a director's issue. You look at that and go, yeah, this shirt's not working. I mean, it was it didn't match the tie he had on and the suit. I was like, you're the main character. I got to watch you for the rest of this.
Oh, I looked it up. Oh. That is weird, it's like a forest green color.
It is a forest green color, and I get it because it's Christmas, but it just didn't work with that tie, and they just didn't have a lot of chemistry. And in the book, they talk about why, in fact, she leaves after they have a one-night stand together. And she's got a lot of baggage. I mean, she was dumped pretty much on Christmas. They're all dumped on Christmas. All these women, these poor women have been dumped on Christmas.
Fucking terrible.
I know.
Jesus.
And so, excuse me, but, and so they're both making pitches, of these, because they work in, it must be an ad agency. I can't remember off the top of my head. And, so they're both making pitches, and which is funny because they're making pitches on like Christmas Eve for a Christmas product. I was like, hold up.
You were a little late on that.
This would have been summer.
This would have, you guys would have been doing that months ago.
Yeah. And he always wins the pitches because he's a man, because why are men?
Well, why are men?
Yep. And they're rivals, but not like, I mean, he is obviously interested in her and has been interested in her. There are some cute lines in it, like, he's like, because he tells her that he's actually going up to make the pitch, and then he's leaving town because he's going to visit his family in California because he might actually decide to move there and start looking for jobs because he figures it didn't work out with her. There's nothing there for him.
Literally move states away because this one night stand didn't work out.
Yeah, well, I think he's been in love with her for a while.
He has 3 names, by the way. Blake, Cooper, Griffin.
Of course he does, because they all do. It's like we've said, like serial killers, to work at Passion Flicks, you have to have 3 names.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yes. Satire. We love you, Tosca.
He is very cute.
He is. I think it was an unfortunate hairstyle. It was an unfortunate clothing decision. But again, those are directing decisions. Those are, I mean, because he's a very attractive, and she's gorgeous, but just wasn't. So she's had and so what he catches her talking to herself after they've had sex, and she's kind of like, oh my God, I made this big mistake, and he's going to hate me, blah, 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 blah. And he catches bits and pieces of it, but they don't really go into that in the movie. So you don't get why she's upset, because she's having some inner turmoil because her piece of crap ex-fiance dumped her on Christmas. And it was like 3 years prior or something like that. So he does say to her, he's like, what happens if I don't leave, or and she's like, well, why would you want to stay? He's like, because I like someone here. And she's like, well, who do you like? He goes, I like you, Holly. I like you. And it's just the way he's very, very cute. And of course her eyes got really big, and it was just seriously over the top. Anywho, there is a line though I did highlight because it made me laugh. And he was saying, like, why do you even want this proposal? Why do you want this account? He said, you don't even like Christmas. She goes, I can fake it if I have to. And he says, you're exquisite when you don't. I was like, holy shit, that's hot. That is fucking hot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So, of course, they leave it, and maybe this is why they cut it, because they leave it very ambiguous to who wins the account. He does win the account, so in the book, and he does become, he's got a higher position at the company by the end of it. But just to give you a little heads up, so the end of the book, he asks, he has already asked her to marry him. And because they spend a couple Christmases, it's like 2 years into the relationship. And he's got to fly out to, I think, Tokyo, it says, for this account on Christmas Day, I think it's Christmas Day. And so what he decides to do is, he had already made this decision, which I would have been like, okay, let me explain it, and then I want to get your reaction if you would be super excited about this. He flies her best friend in and her mother in, and his mom is already there for Christmas. He surreptitiously has her pick her wedding dress out because he sets up he sets up their wedding before he leaves. He wants to get married on Christmas Eve. Doesn't tell her. Yeah. I would be like, okay.
How did she surreptitiously pick out her own wedding dress?
Her best friend was like, hey, what, something along the lines of, check out these dresses. Which one do you like? Blah, blah, blah. And so, if you could get, if you were looking to get married, which one would you pick? Sort of thing. Huh. And, so she shows up at this art museum because they're going to have a date at the art museum. And he's got it all set that they're getting married. And I'd be like, hold up. You just did this without asking me? Cool. We've been engaged for a day, dude. A day. How do you feel about that?
I mean, so wait, they had been engaged for one day?
Literally a day, I believe. Yep.
Wow, that's like really hopeful on his part. Very optimistic that she was going to say yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that.
No. Well, anyhow.
Well, I believe that a lot of weddings are like, I think a lot of emphasis is put on weddings that is done that way so that you spend a shit ton of money because it's $1 billion industry. But like, there's also some fun in it. So like, even if you do it in on a much smaller scale, there's fun in like planning this day with this person that you love and like your family and your friends and shit. So
Right.
Unless she like hated wedding planning and wanted nothing to do with it and specifically said, I want nothing to do with this, you plan it all and I'll show up when the time comes.
And the only thing I can think of is because she does mention like she invited half of the office to her previous wedding that she got dumped for. So maybe she didn't want to, but still
make a big deal about it.
They don't go into that at all. And you're like, oh,
yeah.
well.
So like in the book, maybe it makes more sense than.
No, this is the book.
Oh, okay.
No, this is the book. No, it ends with the movie ends with them getting out of the elevator and kissing.
Oh.
You don't even know who won the proposal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Then maybe it needs to be a novel, like a full novel.
I don't know. I don't know if the source material was that good.
Okay.
Gotcha. Anywho, again,
All right.
I'm going to always recommend these because they're literally 11 minutes.
Right, they're short.
I mean, you could be doing your makeup and watching it on, or whatever,
Right.
getting ready to leave. And
She was on The Bold and the Beautiful.
Oh, she's beautiful.
She is. She's gorgeous.
She's both bold and beautiful.
Holla.
But she isn't. Well, I mean, I hate to say it. Part of that is
So it's soap opera acting. I mean,
it is. Yeah, and
they're always over the top.
Yeah, and they think that like, yeah, it's really expressive eyes. Really expressive eyes.
Oh, and now she's on. I don't know if she still is, but Young and the Restless.
They just go from one to one.
Yeah, they do. A lot of them move around. That reminds me of. There's a scene on Friends where Joey is talking about like one of his colleagues. They're watching an episode of Days of Our Lives, and
Is that what he was on?
yeah, he was on Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
And he is like, someone says like, "Oh, who's that? She's pretty," and he goes, "Yeah, she's really great too. I've learned a lot from her. She taught me how to like smell the fart acting."
Yeah. No, she doesn't do that, but she's got a lot of like, she looks like, she just heard, like, it's like she heard someone fart behind her and she got really surprised or scared by it, like a ghost fart. Yeah.
Well,
so that's that one.
so there's that. The holiday lift, ladies,
yeah.
and literally one gentleman who listens to this podcast. Might be three. It's hard to tell.
And I'm thinking about it. These three, there's no sex in them, so no,
Really, no
no naughty list. Yeah, no hint of porn.
The naughty list was like extraordinarily hot.
Whew, you ended up reading the story, right?
Of course I did. Literally, we were done recording, and I like
Closed
looked it up.
open.
I was like Googling.
Oh, that was and that was a good story.
It was.
Still don't understand why they made that one into a. Never mind. Guess I don't need to know. I'm not on the board. Nor make decisions at Passionflix, though I should.
Please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. I won't pressure you to bring me on board to do things like promotions and program your season. Don't worry about it.
Both Tosca Musk and Penny Reed are going to put out restraining orders against us. It's very possible.
It's very possible. Okay, so the next one is Holiday Lift, written by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. No. Oh, no, sorry, not Holly. Oh, sorry. Sexy Scrooge. Sexy Scrooge. We just talked about Hollywood. Oh my God. It was so it was so memorable. Sexy Scrooge. No, sorry. Dang it, I'm doing this all wrong. Merry Mistake. We're doing Merry Mistake. Merry Mistake.
Okay. Merry Mistake.
Yes. So the next two are both by V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. So Merry Mistake. Let me get the little synopsis for that one. Okay. Note to self. Ask Santa for glasses this year. When Piper accidentally mistook a gorgeous man resting outside her building for a homeless person in need of a lunch, things got heated. She was only trying to do a good deed around the holidays, but he called her righteous. She called him something far worse. If only she didn't have to see him again, but fate has other plans. So, this one, the story was so funny. I laughed a lot. For many reasons. So you've got Piper. Piper is just minding her own business. She just broken up about 9 months ago with her very wealthy boyfriend. So she's kind of like, she's talking about how she's been kind of giving up her old life. You find out she makes it known that she actually had a uterine cancer scare a year prior. So she's, she kind of got. She left her corporate jobs, and and she's completely cancer free, but she can't have kids. Aww. So she's excuse me. She left her corporate job and she's doing interior design. So she kind of gave it away, and she realized what what life means, to get the dream out of life, and the boyfriend wasn't it. And he was more obsessed with, material things because he's a wealthy guy, Not that all wealthy guys are like that, but, that's what his focus was. Mm-hmm. So she had been doing more of giving. It's Christmas time. So for gift giving, because she didn't have the money, is that she would do selfless acts, and then she would tell. Yeah, it was super sweet. Like, she was like, I'm gonna go buy this homeless man, because she said there has been more than one person that had been sitting outside, and homeless people that were sitting outside of her building, and she's seen them a number of times, and she's like, I'm gonna do for this guy, I'm gonna go get him a lunch. And she's like, I end up just buying all of the things that I like. And then she put a $50 bill in the bag, and she leaves it over, and she says, like, hey, here's a lunch and there's money in the bag. She said, please, just, all I ask is you don't spend it on alcohol. And the guy's like, I am not homeless.
I have a question. Like, my first question was like, why does she think he's homeless?
Well, in the story, I mean, in the story, he's like got a like dirty flannel, ripped up jeans, his hat pulled down. Again, there's been homeless people who have sat outside her building before, so she put two and two together. In the movie, I would have been like, well, for one, he's got like a smoothie sitting right next to him, so I'm gonna, like, a green, like, almost like a veggie smoothie, and I'm like, I'm gonna guess he's not homeless, because also he doesn't look rough. Like, he looks like just some guy just resting, waiting for the bus. I don't know. Part of it, they didn't want to make the hero unattractive. That's part of it. Yeah.
And he is attractive.
He is attractive. And she's very pretty. Mm-hmm. So what happens is he's like, you're just, you're self-righteous, blah, blah, blah. What if I was just sitting here wanting, on a smoke break? Totally valid point. Yes, yeah. Possibly. And she's like, when she goes, please, I just asked you don't spend it on alcohol. And he goes, what about strippers? Can I spend it on strippers? I was like, she goes, whatever, do whatever you want with it. Like, at this point, she's kind of like, oh, I made a mistake. And she's kind of, yeah, like, I'm going to walk back now.
Was really just trying to do something nice for somebody.
Yeah. This is my building. Where I live now.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I'm going to have to fake like I live elsewhere. Perfect.
Yeah. And he's just going at her. Like, to the point where I'm like, okay, even in the book and in the movie, I'm like, calm your tits.
Like, have you had a bad day? Take a deep breath.
Yeah, like, fine. She thinks you're homeless. I mean, I would be kind of bummed, but I wouldn't be ripping someone's face off. I'd be like, hey, that's, I'm not, but maybe. But I'm going to take this $50 and, like, donate it to someone, or I'll give this to, like. Right? Well, so she's So he's just going at her, and she's finally like, you know what? Eat a bag of dicks.
Stop it. She says that?
She says,
Perfect.
Eat a bag of dicks.
Yes.
I bring that up because the story goes a little farther along and then comes back. She's walking out of her apartment, and there's a bag in front of her apartment. And it's the lunch bag that she had left, that guy. And it's full of dildos.
Oh, my God.
And he says, I can't eat these, but maybe you can use them. And he said, and by the way,
it's a little bit enemies to lovers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So she she happens to, so we're moving closer to Christmas. So it's like Christmas Eve. I think it's it's a couple days before Christmas, and there's like a Christmas party her friend's throwing. And FYI, this is more that's in the movie. I mean, it touches very lightly on this in the movie, but so she's all dressed up to go to her friend's Christmas party, and she goes downstairs and she's waiting for she gets out of the elevator, and she says her neighbor, he's an older man, he just had a stroke, I think, that year, and so he's having mobility issues. And so she's like, Mr. Hanks, are you okay? Do you need some help? And I guess he'd had this stick that he used to try to like turn the button, push the buttons on the elevator and everything. And she's like, oh, I forgot something upstairs. Can I help you upstairs? So they go back up, and she realized that he hadn't eaten. So she gets him in his apartment, and they share dinner. And then, you kind of learn about his life a little bit. And she ends up then spending more and more time with him. And so it's Christmas Eve, and she's going over to break up a pie before she goes to her family in Jersey. And who opens the door? But homeless guy.
There was not one person who could open the door.
No, I believe his name's Mason.
Yes, I looked it up while you were talking about it. His name is Mason.
His name's Mason, and Mason's like, "Da fuck,"
right?
And she's like, "Da fuck."
How's your bag of dicks?
How's your bag of dicks? And she does not bring that up in front of her of the dad, because it ends up being that's his son.
I was gonna say, like,
yeah, and you find out that he was adopted. Because his name is Mr. Hanks. Mr. Hanks' wife couldn't have kids. So come full circle. Yeah. So, anywho, I'm dragging this one out just because it's fresh in my mind. Sounds and it was cute. A really cute story. So they end up having dinner together. The three of them have dinner together. And then she, leaves or whatever. And the next day, Mr. Hanks gives her a Christmas present, which is a business card for, I want to say it's like the manager of the Lotus Hotel. He's like, I know this person. She's expecting to see you on Monday. They're redecorating rooms, and I told her that you were, interior designer. So she meets with this person, and puts her proposal in, and she finds out that that she's a finalist. So the manager's like, I'm gonna take it to the owner. You're my favorite, but I can't promise anything. So Christmas comes and goes, and we're getting to New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve comes, and she gets a knock on her door, and it's Mason. Mason's like, you got a date for tonight? And she says, well, I was just gonna sit on my couch and eat Ben and Jerry's and watch the ball drop. He's like, well, he said, meet me at 8:00. She goes, please meet me at 8:00. He goes, please meet me at 8:00. And so he's like, I'll have my driver pick you up. I think you know where this is going.
Of course I do. I knew from the business card. Of course.
Of course. So she ends up meeting him at the Lotus Hotel, which he then tells her, you've won. Yep, you are the new designer.
That's awesome.
Well, first he goes, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the rooms. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not going to fuck you, man. No, this is just a date. Like, and he's like, no, you won the bid. You are the new designer. And she's like, oh, I'm really happy, but at the same time, I'm kind of upset. He's like, well, why? He goes, I was hoping this was a date. Yeah. And he's like, no, it's totes date. And she goes, good, because, and then she pulls out a dick, one of the dildos. And she's like, I'd like to trade this in for the real thing. And so that's how that one ends. Okay. The girl in this was very pretty.
We're still talking about the Mary mistake.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, let's just say that no one in these movies are ever going to be ugly. There's never going to be an uggo that's in these movies. No, she's pretty. She can't act her way out of a wet paper bag.
No.
This is her acting. I got to move away from the mic.
Oh, no.
Mr. Hanks! What's wrong with you? Like, no one told her. Something's wrong with her microphone. She doesn't need to scream. It was upsetting my ears. Like, it was so loud. And I looked her up, and she hasn't really done much, and I think it's obvious to why she hasn't done much. It would just bummed me out because I loved the story so much, and I was like, oh, she's ruining this. It's just the delivery was real bad. Real bad. Again, it's 11 minutes, so totes watch it, but it won't be for her acting. Let's just say that. His was not great either, but it was a lot better than hers. And you also got to look at him.
Well, right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I Googled and I'm looking at the IMDb, so.
Yeah. Probably the best actor was Mr. Hanks in the wheelchair. So there you go. But it was sweet. It's the whole bag of dicks part. You won me over by having a literal bag of dicks.
Literally a bag of dicks.
Literal bag of dicks.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And
that's
not
Mary
even
mistake.
like the gummy ones. A bag of dildos.
It was a bright pink one too.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. And she shoves it in the movie. She shoves it in his pocket. It made me laugh.
Nice.
They also put her in this outfit at the end, which is what's on the cover of the Passion Flicks. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty dress, but she's got this coat and she's only wearing it halfway up her arms. I want to put the coat on or not wear it. One of the two. Somebody do. Are you seeing this? That's another reason why I'm like, here's the thread that goes through all of them. Hey, director, can you see that she's half wearing this jacket? It's distracting. Also, can she bring the levels down a little bit? Isn't
it New Year's Eve?
It is.
Isn't it cold?
In New York City? Yeah.
Put the fucking coat on.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it would be beautiful. Put her in a cashmere coat.
Yeah. I mean, she's got what looks to be some sort of coat, maybe even cashmere coat. I'm like, just fucking pull it up her shoulders. Somebody pull it up her shoulders. She's gorgeous. We know she's thin. We can see her beautiful.
Take the coat off. One of the two. On
one
or
of the
off.
two.
Take it on or off.
Honestly, the dress looks like a mirror ball. Looks like the New Year's.
Yeah, it looks like it has some sort of pretty design on it.
But that would be something I'd be like, hey, can you see this? Can we fix this? Because it's distracting. Also, this isn't Spinal Tap. Let's bring this down under 11, okay? Thank you.
Fucking 11.
Although the amp goes to 11, we don't need it to. Thank you. I'm getting sassy. All right, the last one.
Getting sassy.
I mean, I've always been fucking sassy.
There's a main reason we're friends, and I think that's part of what bonded us.
Spicy.
Spicy and sassy.
Spicy and sassy. The last one is Sexy Scrooge. And again, V and Penelope. I'm not going to read their whole names out.
First name basis now.
We are just like Penny and Tosca. It's fine. So this one is the last thing Meredith needed was to share an Uber with Scrooge, a cocky lawyer on a snowy Christmas Eve. It was bad enough she was on her way to court for the gift of eviction. Although maybe today it wouldn't turn out so bad after all. She and the sexy Scrooge started to connect as they trudged their way through a storm. Soon their ride was about to end, but would they? There's a misspelling or there's a grammatical mistake on here. But would they ever see each other again?
Oh, would they ever see each other again?
Yeah, I believe that's would they.
Oh yeah, you're right. I see that.
Yeah. So look at us.
Look at us go.
Yep. Editing passion flicks again. See, just I need to be on staff. That's what happens. I would catch these things. So Sexy Scrooge. That's really honestly pretty much what happens. Meredith gets in her Uber and immediately sits on Adam's lap because he's sitting on the sidewalk side instead of sitting, because he didn't know it was a rideshare.
Oh.
So she ends up sitting right in his lap. And then at one point, a little bit later, she ends up accidentally putting her hand in his crotch.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So and she goes,
makes sense.
Oh, now I know that he's packing some things down below.
Wow.
Yeah. It gets pretty spicy pretty quickly. I mean, there's no, again, these, like I said, there's no sex in these ones, but
they're in the back of an Uber.
They're in the back of an Uber. Although, like, I was at one point, I'm like, is something going to happen? Because I've read some V. Keeland. I know. Like, we're going to see something? But, so what has happened is Meredith is going to court because she's being evicted. She had moved in with her grandmother. Again, this is New York City. And her grandmother actually had passed away 9 months prior, but she had been there taking care of her grandma in, like, the last days. And so she had been there for 2 years. And it had been rent controlled.
Mm-hmm, right.
And so she was like, yep. So they're like, oh, they found out that she was living there and like, get the fuck out. She's like, but
I've been living here for 2 years.
Right. And they wanted $36,000 in like, in the unmade, like the difference between the rent controlled and what it,
Hang on, let me just get my entire MBA.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hold on. Let me pull this money out of my butthole. Right.
Can I just hand you my actual MBA certificate? Can I just give that to you? Does that count? It is the most expensive piece of paper I've ever purchased in my life.
Right. You're like, is it easier if I just actually just give you my life? Do you just want me to bleed my lifeblood to you? Because $36,000 is a lot of money.
It's a lot of fucking money.
So she's telling this to Adam, which you find out Adam is a lawyer, also a trial attorney.
Perfect.
So yeah, and the more they get to know each other, he finally just goes, you could go in and say, I have been there. Pretty much I forgot the term he uses, but because she inherited it.
Okay.
It should have stayed rent control and it should stay. He's like, you just got to prove that you were living there, pretty much. He's like, she goes, I don't know any of this. He's like, well, shouldn't your lawyer be telling you? She's like, I'm broke. I can't even afford a lawyer. So they start talking and he's like, well, what are you doing for Christmas? And she's like, well, I should have been being proposed to at Rockefeller Center. But my boyfriend, who broke up with me 9 months ago, I was like, Jesus, who was cheating on her with a friend of hers. So that happened.
Lovely.
It's always like that, man. She said, I don't have any, I don't have any plans. My plans are going to see my mother, who thinks I'm still dating this guy, whose name is Tucker. And this guy, and Adam goes, I'm sorry, what's his name? Tucker? You started, he's like, you're dating a frat guy named Tucker? And she's like, no surprise that he was a douchebag. And I was like, well, we know a Tucker. He's a douchebag. Yep.
To be fair, I know one Tucker who is not a douchebag. He's a very nice person.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I feel bad for him because he does now get the label of douchebag because of one particular Tucker.
Right.
But Adam, and so she's like, well, Adam, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm going to go home to Ohio. And first
always Ohio. It's always Ohio.
Cincinnati.
Of course
in
it is.
the house.
Nasty natty.
Yep. And she's like, well, are you, gets around to are you single? And he says, yeah. And she said, well, pretty much why are you single? And in his 20s, he had a very serious relationship. I believe it said that they were engaged and she had passed away from cancer. So I'm telling you, man,
that got dark quick.
Rife. They're all rife with rife with misery. That's all these are. So she also mentions that he looks like Clark Kent.
He does a little bit.
Yeah, but he's got the glasses. He's got
like black glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And so, she's like, well, so his first idea to her. Also, they're both late to court. Like, they're both running late. But he's like, we need to stop off at your office because she still had a picture of Tucker on her desk. And he says, oh, no, that's the first thing that's going. So they stop at her office and the picture on her desk of Tucker, this woman is too pretty for this guy. Way too pretty for this individual.
My shocked face.
I know. So they rip up the picture. And they're back in the car going off to their destination. She's like, well, what can I do for you? You've done this for me. I feel liberated. I feel much better. She goes, I know. Why don't you tell your mother that we're dating? And so she's like, we can take some selfies and, it'll get your mom off your back. So they do. And they take some really super cute pictures and she's posting them on Instagram. And she says, like, new friend, I forgot what it was, Clark Kent. And he's like, oh, it's because of the muscles, right? It's because of the muscles. She's like, no, it's the glasses, but muscles too.
But sure, there's that too.
Sure. So the cab gets in the book. The cab gets in an accident. In the movie, there's traffic, so they run. They book it to the courthouse. So they part ways. She goes in. She's sitting there, and the judge is Judge Ebenezer.
Of course it is.
Yeah, right? And all along, Adam kept telling her, there's no such thing as good luck. There's no such thing as luck. There's no such thing as luck. Well, guess who is the attorney for the real estate?
I was waiting for it.
So he comes in, and he immediately says, we need to have a stay, a German or whatever, an extension, because she has brought some documentation to light that that this might change the, whatever, of the inheritance clause.
He threw his own case.
He did. And so he goes up to her and gives her. What? He goes up to her with this. He's like, I need you to sign this form. And he leaves. And she opens it and it says, meet me get in the Uber. Now, see, in the book, it says something different, but in the movie, it says, get in the Uber. So she gets in the Uber, and it takes her to where?
Rockefeller Center.
And I do have to say, the ending of the book is better, but they, of course, kiss, and he gets down on a knee, and he says, will you replace your picture on your desk with this one?
Oh, that's cute, though.
Super cute. I loved this one. I loved it so much. It was so good. Like, she's adorable. She's pretty, but she's also just adorable.
She looks like in the photo, the way they have her dressed, and then of course she's like pale. She looks very like old Hollywood glam.
She's got a beret on. The whole thing.
It's like very, I don't know, like 40s kind of. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, she's good actress. So there was. Plus. Yep. He was fucking hot. Like, he's hot in a way. He's hot like a 40s actor too. Built like a mattress. And like, you don't know if he's fat or if he's like just built or what. Like, cause he's not thin, but he's like a built guy. Like, it's weird. He's got a weird build, but he's hot. I mean, throw a leg
cute.
over it from every day and twice on Sunday.
There you go.
I mean, jump on it. But he does look like, jump on it.
You're welcome. I was doing the little dance over here. Nobody could see it, but right.
I enjoyed every fucking minute of it.
I'm glad. This photo of him on IMDb looks very much like Clark Kent.
Oh.
Hang on. I'm going to send it to you. Hang on. I'll send it to you.
Do.
I'm right here. I can do it.
And I mean, glasses. Can I tell you? I mean, let's see here. Oh, God bless America.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he can. Oof, oof, I'll be his kryptonite.
Or is he yours? What? He's got beautiful eyes.
He does. What has he been in? So that
also MacGyver.
God.
He was in MacGyver.
Oh, did you look at his main IMDb picture?
Yeah, of course. Hello.
Holy God.
I'm right here. Oh, there's a cute picture. I think this is from the movie we're talking about. Sexy Scrooge. This one of these pictures on his IMDb.
Oh my god! Holy god! Him with the beard. Oh. I will. Anyhow, I'd have some beard burn down below for days. What?
What? He was on MacGyver. Played a race car driver on MacGyver, apparently.
Oh, he was on Sleepy Hollow, too. What happened to that show?
Yeah, him with a beard is fine. Just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing wrong.
I mean,
Nothing wrong.
I'm looking through his list here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Long. Okay. I think a lot of these guys, like a lot of the people that are on here, I mean, well, Hollywood's just full of like these beautiful people who are in like one or two things or like rando on a show. And that's, I mean, but he was really super cute.
Nice. I hope he gets more stuff then, you know, like.
Right? I mean, keep that beard because hell yeah.
Real attractive.
Damn. And then him with that tank top on in the beard. Always got yeah, I did notice that.
Cast him in some cowboy movies, please.
Right? I did notice in it that his hair was curling, and I was like, oh, I bet he has natural curly hair. And he does.
He does. You can definitely tell he does.
Do you also know who has naturally curly hair and glasses?
Henry Cavill?
Yeah, him too. John Ossoff. I had to tell you something about John Ossoff today. So, do you know that Dua Lipa song, Levitating?
I don't know. Maybe?
I'm levitating.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every time I hear that song, it gets to the end where it's like, he's taking I'm Shugaboo. I'm levitating. What's that?
Right.
I can. Oh yeah. My love is like a rocket. Watch it blast off. That part. Every single time when he's like, dance my ass off. I keep thinking, you're saying John Ossoff.
Yes,
every
dance
single
your
time.
ass off. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I always think, oh, John Ossoff.
He's real cute. He's real cute.
Yep.
His wink. I can't. I mean,
we've talked about this. His wink makes me come. It's fine.
Hi, Mom.
I know. Passionflix want to sponsor us? Although you did make a movie where, I mean, it's definitely talking about anal sex and all kinds of stuff. So, and suck it like you mean it. So, you know,
True.
Which will never not be funny.
Never not be funny. Suck it like you mean it.
Mean it. I mean,
my poor husband like walked in I think I told you every single time I was either editing or like listening to that episode. That was the moment that he walked in on. And this like second or third time, he's like,
it's all she's saying in this episode, isn't it? Yep.
Why do I always come in at this part? I was like, why are you sad about it?
I mean, if you could tell that to people, wouldn't you? I mean, come on.
That was the point, though, that I looked at him and I was like, you know, this whole time I've been afraid that my mom isn't going to want to talk to me anymore, but I'm a little afraid that you're not going to want to talk to me.
I mean, I guess unless you start using some of these lines on him, and then he'll be like, I think you need to watch some more Passionflix. Yes, please.
There are worse things.
Yeah, I could fake it. You're exquisite when you don't. Oh, God. Oh.
It's a good one.
Okay. It is a good one. I mean, but at the same time, how do you know? How do you know it's real?
Well, as we've discussed, if he's paying any kind of attention.
This is true. I mean, but if from when Harry Met Sally taught us anything.
It's true.
Yeah. So that is Passionflix for this episode.
Love it.
I recommend all three of them. I mean, come on.
They're short. They're fun.
Yeah. Of the three stories, I'm only going to recommend the last two. The first one I don't think is worth it. I hate to say it, but I don't think it's again 100 pages, and that's for some people that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to sit down and just crack open.
Yeah.
But I would.
That's
recommend
a third of a book.
The third of a book, exactly. So I mean, and the story wasn't that great in the first place. I have to say, like, it wasn't that compelling. But yeah,
they're not all winners, man.
They are not all winners. But again, if you don't have a subscription to Passionflix, I would recommend it highly. They have been working through pandemic. It looks like for the most part. So they have released some new material. I know a lot of stuff's on the horizon. Mm-hmm. At one point, they were pretty prolific.
Prolific?
No.
Prolific? No, prolific.
Prolific. That's the word I was looking for. And there was a lot of stuff coming out, but they had to scale back with the pandemic. But I know coming up, Wicked is coming out in a couple weeks, I think. And then you were gonna do.
I need to do Driven. So I was. When do we know when that comes out?
Which Wicked?
Driven.
Driven's already out.
Oh, is it?
Driven's been out. Yeah.
Okay.
Driven. There's like 3 different Drivens, I believe, on there.
Yeah.
Like
so that I'll have to look, but there's like 8 in the series, so I didn't know like what I would need to read before.
Yeah.
I need to look.
Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't see. Oh no! Wait, no. Oh no, it's already here. Driven's here. That came out in 2018, actually.
Okay, so then what is that, like the first book?
First season.
Oh, okay.
Because they're all looks like so all together. It doesn't tell you how long it is, but it looks like it's probably so. There's 6 episodes, around 30 minutes apiece. So 3 hours altogether.
So I wonder if like that is the first book of like the first like much like Bridgerton.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
So that's the one that's out. Are they going to do more?
I don't know. I think that they've been kind of focused on that Gabriel's Inferno thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been talking about that a lot.
I think they're all done with that one now.
I thought they were filming, but they might be done.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a 4th one. I don't know. I have 0 interest in those ones just because I'm not a big student and teacher thing. I'm not a big fan.
I don't seek
professors. It out. No. I mean, and that's fine. I mean,
You and I have also both worked in education, so like.
Right. I mean, because we've seen the really bad.
We've seen the
things.
Really negative parts about that. Yeah. So it's not
because there's no equality in your
relationship in any capacity.
No, I mean, I was thinking about that today actually because I was thinking about relationships where people like this because I think I was actually thinking of Gabriel's Inferno, and the experience that you and I have had with those sort of relationships and kind of like sub and dominant relationships.
Sub-dom relationships.
Yeah, which I have no problem with as long as you come into it as on equal footing.
Sure. I mean, as long as like that's something that you both want to do.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
You do checks every so often being like, are you still okay with us being like this? Like, because I think, but when you're going into something like that, as you're already mad, you automatically are giving up something, like some sort of.
There's a difference in power there.
Yeah. But looking at some of the other ones, I have read one of the Matchmaker Playbook because it's a series, and that's a V. Keeland too, I think.
We have a V. Keeland on our list too. We were talking about this earlier today.
Yeah.
What about next time? Do you want to do the romance documentary?
We can. Let's do that.
You want to do that?
So, do we know what the name of that is?
Yeah, I can look it up.
Okay. I can talk about it a little bit while you're looking it up. Sure. So it's pretty much a documentary about the boom in the smut market.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much in the last few years of how romance novels have exploded on the market.
It's called Naughty Books.
Yeah, Naughty Books. And
it's on
the demand
Hulu.
For it. And it sounds like the more when you watch the trailer, it sounds like the supply and demand, how it always works. Now you have an oversaturation of the market and how now it's kind of because it's oversaturated and what's happening. So, but it should be interesting. So we're going to do that one. And then we have Wicked and then...
did you want to do Wicked first? It's up to you.
Why don't we do Wicked first? Because you're going to watch Wicked, right?
I'd like to, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm reading it right now, so might as well do it first, and I'll get it out of the way, and it's like fresh in my mind.
Okay.
Because we know how things quickly lose my mind. Because I'm always losing
my life. I understand.
Yeah. So.
All right,
my darling. This is Page to Screen.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Yay. Episode 3.
It was a triple feature, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. So Christmas is over and done with for another few months.
It's May, so I guess.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Until November 1st, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, my dear.
It was so nice to see you.
It was nice to see you too in this time of COVID.
Through a Zoom screen.
Through a Zoom screen. One of these days we're going to see each other in person.
I'm going to probably cry.
Yeah.
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 And then I'm going to drink too much and cry some more. So.
I mean, guys, spoiler, wait until next full-length episode. Let's just say, oh no, it's two episodes.
No, it's the next one. It's the next one. It's boyfriend material, which is the next one.
Oh, just wait, because
it's going to be so good. We've already recorded it. We have a special guest.
Yeah, and we've all been drinking.
All of us. And also, our guest is one of our favorite people on the planet. So it's going to work out. It's going
to work out. You guys are going to enjoy. And
you're going to love him. You're going to love him so much.
And we can tell you there'll be more guests in the future. So
yes, cannot wait.
Yeah. Awesome, lady.
All right.
Well, have a wonderful evening, our dear listeners. And,
yes. Should we tell people where they can find us? That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. And, first, because I mentioned about Passionflix. Passionflix is $5.99 a month, so totally go out and it's not just all original content. They have other things that they license on there, and they'll have it on rotation. So I totally recommend. Again, it's $5.99. It's passionflix.com. Yes. Where do people find us, my dear?
You can find us at our website at chickletbookclubpodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at chickletpodcast, TikTok at chickletbookclub, Pinterest. We have our Spank Naughty lists and our stunt casting. It's Chicklet Book Club Podcast. You can email us at chickletbookclubpodcast@gmail.com. And you can look us up on YouTube. I'm not reading you that URL. I'm not even sorry. You're all smart and you can Google it. So anyway. Google it. Please send us your feedback. Let us know what you're enjoying, maybe what you're not enjoying. That's also fine. We always welcome constructive feedback. So anyway, until next time.
Yeah. Don't flame us. Please don't.
It's just rude.
I mean, my self-confidence is fragile as it is. Please don't. Please don't. It's hanging on by a fucking thread, guys.
We have enough problems, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Rate and review, purple icon.
Yes, please rate and review us, and let us know what you're reading.
Yes, we would love to know what you're reading. If there's something that we don't necessarily have to review it, but I'd like to know if there's something.
I like to know what you're reading. I always want to know for my own TBR.
Freaking pages this shit. Come on.
Never ending.
All right,
everybody. Happy reading and
bye.
We're nerds.